news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder-for-hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Dirk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night and is being held without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that murder-for-hire plot. Now, the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was killed in 2022. Investigators believe it was retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von.
They'll post that too, because the media and shit, they gonna eat either way. They gonna eat when you acting like a gangster to the lames, and then they gonna eat when they lock you up for being a gangster amongst the lames. I can only imagine what the federal government is saying to themselves when you get a key to the city and they believe you to be someone that's doing murder for hires and freak offs and sex trafficking and things. You can pay too much for your reputation, bro. I was just talking about this with Lil Woody. Lil Woody popping and he famous, but he paid too much for his fame. You paid too much to be lit, homie. It don't cost that much to be lit. You had to go get on the stand, so much shit done happened. You paid too much for that, but you paid too much for your fame. You know, when I look at Woody, that's one thing I say, homie, he paid too much for his fame. But like Quando Rondo, you know, they killed a big player. They killed a big King Slayer up in Chicago, according to them. They let people call him a serial killer. They lean into that. I was pushing back on the serial killer. I think you're dealing with revenge. Young tied up in some bullshit and trying to uphold a reputation, because reputation is linked to what? Revenue. I'll say this again. When you're dealing with that drill culture movement and that Project Ghetto Street, a reputation is like a jump shot for a ball player. When you slay a King Slayer and you leave the boss. See, the problem with Quando Rondo is they killed a big player in the ecosystem, but they left the boss living. Not only did Durk get tricked in this, Quando got tricked in this. Man, they tricked Quando into standing on something he ain't even do.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more.
Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car.
You be seeing them comments a lot? They kind of chilled out a little bit. I don't know why.
23-year-old was taken to the hospital where he died.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the fantasy sports platform that's changing the game for people like us. With PrizePicks, you can test your knowledge with picking over and under for your favorite player stats across a wide variety of sports. Think football, baseball, basketball, and beyond. So why wait? Jump into PrizePicks right now and bring more excitement to game day. Whether you're cheering from the stands or the couch, PrizePicks adds that extra layer of fun for sports excitement. Again, my slogan, why would you put something on the game when you could put something on the name? Let's get into those picks and start winning with PrizePicks today. IUTP code. Let's get back to the show.
This is going to be a deep one. And for everyone watching, our analytics tell us that we have a lot of returning viewers that have not subscribed. So I ask you right now to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. It's Up There Podcast. I got a lot of love for y'all.
Welcome back to What's Up There Podcast. I am your active and attractive host, Big Loon, uno not dos. You must never seen the game up close. Again, come to Pt.1 for the vibes. This is the biggest. This is the platform of the culture. I appreciate each and every person that has hit subscribe, like, shared, viewed, however you engaged, interact with our content. I want to send a salute to you and say thank you so much for pushing us up the charts, pushing us up the algorithm, and just being instrumental in what we're building as a brand. There is fights behind the scenes. There's fights small and big, and we win some, we lose some, but we live to fight another day. When you're building a business and a brand, you got to be steadfast in your approach, right? You got to be one of those kind of individuals that'll stand on the business no matter what happens. And believe in yourself. Believe in your recover speed. You know, today we're going to talk about Lil Durk. Lil Durk was just arrested along with 4 other OTF members, according to the federal government, for a murder for hire plot in which Quando Rondo was caught out in L.A. and his homeboy was killed. The feds are alleging that Lil Durk made the call for that. Man, today I got so much to talk about just surrounding all this right here, because the streets is dead. The streets are dead, and it's always from the inside they get you. I want to play this news press release about Durk being arrested, and then I'll come back with some commentary. Roll the tape.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder for hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night and is being held without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that murder for hire plot. Now, the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was killed in 2022. Investigators believe it was retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von.
So as you see the government's theme. They feel like that Lil Durk was intentional on retaliating for what happened to King Von in Atlanta with rapper Quando Rondo and his protege Lil Tim. I ain't gonna lie, the pressure been on Quando Rondo. You can kind of tell he been trying to tap out. See, I always say, like, all these, that's why I don't want to be one of these goof-ass podcasts that's running around the ghetto talking about, man, nah, that ain't my vibration, man. I'm trying to tell the young get some money. The money will lead you to some information if you got the kind of mind that's open to learning. All you got to do is be open to learning. You ain't even got to know it when you start walking. Just be open to learning. I'm on that vibration. I don't want to come to your neighborhood, homie, under no circumstances, unless we celebrating where you came from. Don't have these young around me with guns and shit. I don't want to see all that. Like, if you got some real security, button that up. I'm going to take care of me and mine. We going to be all right. You dig what I'm saying? But I don't want to see all that. That's goofy. And so I want to come on here, and not even I want to. I got to come on here and elevate the game. And let know the streets is dead. All that rough, tough chitter chatter don't even matter. I got to tell the streets that. But it makes it rough on this one. It makes it rough for me on this one. Because I understand how you can be Lil Durk. It felt like I done lost for so long. I done let them get away with this and get away with that. I got the money now. If they violate now, it's up. And maybe you let some things slide, but what happened? It was one of my best friends. And I ain't gonna lie, all of us that come from the ghetto, that is the one instance where you may be excused, where they like, but damn, bruh, he rolled for his best friend. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth your life, but I do know where we come from. We appreciate and applaud those that ride for the fallen soldiers, right? So there's a scenario where I was just reading a press release about a dude that went and dated his brother X just to knock off. So this is less about rap music and how rap fuels this drama. This is about revenge. It could be fueled by rap. And another point I want to make is these big record labels, Universal and otherwise, they better start helping these rappers, because if they get 15 or 20 of these rappers locked up, you guys are basically funding criminal organizations, and they maybe can approach you guys in some kind of way, right? So think about it. There's Young Thug, there's Lil Durk, there's YoungBoy. That's 3 of the top artists in the game for the last 10 years. And that's just 3. That's just top tier. You can go under that and it'll really start, you know what I'm saying, adding up. You get the Pooh Shysters and all these other niggas that's in there doing time, right? So you got to remember that they're painting a picture. But I want to be the voice that's reasonable enough to look at this and say, but hold on, y'all. I know Durk rapped about certain things and I know they said certain things, but you dealing with revenge, dog. And as unfortunate as that sounds, it's probably one of the one times people excuse it. You do something to my mama, I got to have you. You do something to my children, you take away somebody I really truly love, there's a problem associated with that. And then you couple with that media's role in it. You don't remember the slide on Vaughn, the documentaries, the internet trolling? The way they amplify the chaos. Right? It's all entertainment. I kiki kaka when people dying, like you start seeing documentaries pop up. Like there's a reason Trap Lord Ross ain't sat back down with me. Trap Lord Ross sit with everybody. I got him so I think I put him in a corner last time and he felt the way. Because the conversations with me, we carve it out. We try to really get down to it. And it may get a little chippy. But you'll see documentaries, videos, you'll see posts engaging and enhancing whatever issues. There was a point in time, and this is what I find interesting about media, and this is the part that morally I think it gets in my way. Because I don't owe nothing to the game if I operate like these gentlemen. You'll have media companies. In particular, let me rewind you guys, because I think this is a very good case study. You know, it's a cautionary tale as to, classic example as to playing both sides of the field. I remember there was a point in time, and you got to remember the time we're talking about, in which the federal government is alleging that Lil Durk was involved in sending a hit. Let me give you a little bit of the factual elements of the case. The Fed said that the credit cards used to book the flights were used with OTF business cards. Kind of sounds like a setup. We'll get to that in a minute. Not only did they use the OTF business banking cards and banking details that clearly send you back to Lil Durk and his company, they also had an informant wearing a wire. Now, we don't know what the wire has got so far. The elements read that Durk and a couple of his individuals were contacted that Quando Rondo was out on the West Coast. And so what Durk did, according to the paperwork, was he sent a couple of guys out there and said, I want this took care of. One of the guys, according to the federal government, was sent there on a private jet attached to the OTF record label. They go out there, they try to get 2 birds with 1 stone, and they end up getting the wrong guy. And RIP to that gentleman, which is one of Quando Rondo's friends. I remember that video coming out, and Lil Durk had to lean into that video and tell the fans, say something now. Akademiks, post that. Yeah. All y'all posting when they treat me bad. That's what y'all wanted, huh? Post that now, huh? Who the king now? And then guess what? They'll post that too, because the media and they gonna eat either way. They gonna eat when you acting like a gangster to the lames, and then they gonna eat when they lock you up for being a gangster amongst the lames. Then they gonna put you amongst the gangsters, and we'll see how far that gangster shit go. But Quando Rondo was the target. He just made it out. And let me say this. Quando Rondo been ready to tap out of that. You can pay too much for your reputation, bro. I was just talking about this with Lil Woody. Lil Woody popping and he famous, but he paid too much for his fame. You paid too much to be lit, homie. It don't cost that much to be lit. You had to go get on the stand, so much shit happened. You paid too much for that. But you paid too much for your fame. You know, when I look at Woody, that's one thing I say, homie, he paid too much for his fame. But like Quando Rondo, you know, they killed a big player. They killed a big King Slayer up in Chicago, according to them. They let people call him a serial killer. They lean into that. I was pushing back on the serial killer shit. I think you're dealing with revenge. Young niggas tied up in some bullshit and trying to uphold a reputation, because reputation is linked to what? Revenue. I'll say this again. When you're dealing with that drill culture movement and that Project Ghetto Street shit, a reputation is like a jump shot for a ball player. Robert Ory was on 6-17s before they let him go. Somebody gonna always draft Robert Ory because he got a jump shot. And so what I'm saying is it go a long way. When you slay a king slayer and you leave the boss. See, the problem with Quando Rondo is they killed a big player in the ecosystem, but they left the boss living. If Quando Rondo knew what he know now, and he would have, because I think that after it first happened that the streets wasn't as shocked as they pretended to be, because like a lot of people was like, yo, when things like that happen, you expect the people that ride with you to ride with you. What I think f***ed it up was Quando Rondo's response. When you insert Young Boy, which put gasoline on Quando. So Quando feel like big dog in this with me. We can take it all the way to the, you see what I'm saying? And they start repping. And when they start repping, that put the pressure on you. When they start repping on knocking down one of your homeboys, and every time you trying to promote your album, everybody under the comments, then when they under the comments, the same that you with in the media, he go on his stream and talk about slide for Vaughn. They saying you ain't sliding for Vaughn. Not only that, the same dude that you went and done an interview with, and this is what I'm saying, the clout chasing and cause you to crash out, my nigga. Y'all gotta f with people that's genuinely f***ing with y'all. I don't know how to tell you to gauge it, but if I'm me and I'm Lil Durk, and there's a guy in the media that's allowing Tekashi 6ix9ine to chop down one of the pillars of our record label, of our community, of whatever this is that we've built as it pertains to OTF, and disrespect him, go put a jacket on me. They were making this shit go viral. And then Durk ran over and done an interview with him and was answering questions. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's get back to Quando Rondo. And I know I'm all over the place because there's so much to talk about with this shit. Like, I really want to go all the way down through there. But I'm going to stay surface level because I want to abide to the TOS, to the guidelines of YouTube, right? But Quando Rondo should have tapped out a long time ago. I think how he responded to it was the issue. I think the disrespect following the murder of King Von was what made this personal and made it turn into revenge. Because at first I even saw Durk he had a attitude at first like, man, y'all niggas in Chicago ain't never done nothing to us. But then when y'all start repping, oh, y'all done made y'allself my real opposition off some shit that happened that night. Like, you know, 15 years went by. Well, I don't know. Maybe we could have looked at that, but y'all done start repping on it. I stand on that. Boss man D-Lo. Not only did Durk get tricked in this, Quando got tricked in this. Man, they tricked Quando into standing on something he ain't even do. They had Quando running around dissing, getting himself dug deeper into this shit, about this internet shit, about something he didn't even do, his homeboy done. They made him wed. Like, now you killed him. You see what I'm saying? You the face of killing him. And he stood on that instead of saying, man, look, Vaughn came at me. That night was unfortunate. Like, you know, he jumped out. I don't even know what that was about. Tried to stand on it because, first of all, let me say this, especially the podcast content, internet, YouTube, all these niggas is telling you to slide is the suckers is letting shit slide. These niggas is having unfinished business. These niggas having shit going on that they ain't responding to, and they be acting tough in y'all area. Man, don't let these niggas trick you into being no murderer or getting yourself killed. I'd rather trick a young into believing he can be a millionaire. I'd rather trick a young dude into believing, yo, I'm the best rapper alive. I'd rather see a popping shit like that with no results. Then the popping that killer shit. And so it's the ones that's hyping everything that's letting shit fly. They eat either way. They know you're going to run and talk to them when you out here. And when you go in there, they'll eat off talking about it as well. Let's zoom out a little bit. Deal with some of the details. Quando Rondo is a rolling 60 Crip from Savannah, Georgia. And I say Savannah, Georgia because I think it's important for us to know, like, rolling 60 Crips is an LA gang, but a sector, a division of it is in Savannah, Georgia. Quando Rondo is in LA, which is the land of the gang that he represents, but some kind of way people get his drop. In the paperwork, they're alleging that Lil Durk's people gets off the plane and link with somebody that know exactly where this little nigga at and where he going and what mall he at and what gas station he at. He ain't told nobody but his homies. He in war at that time. Who don't believe Quando Rondo in war at that time? Y'all done killed the King Slayer. Y'all done killed somebody that they say was one of them men. So if they saying he one of them men and y'all smoked him and left the boss alive, the boss ain't gonna take that lightly. They made grave mistakes, nigga. They made grave mistakes. But Quando Rondo go out there and tell, in my opinion, he gotta tell his homies, you ain't gonna tell the other side of the enemies you out there and where you going and what car you in. They even got videos of them following them and all kind of shit. So they tap in with somebody from the West Coast, according to the paperwork. The OTF members traveled to get the job done. And that shows, in the Fed's eyes, that shows a thirst for blood, a thirst for revenge. Now, if you ask me, Lil Durk ain't no dummy. And he got a lot of money and he's a resourceful man. If I didn't know any better, and I didn't know Durk, it could appear that he was trying to clean up knowing it was coming. Right? If you do really believe you're going fed, you get what, you know what I'm saying? I believe the Muslim car is something that his father was in. You know what I'm saying? So I think he got roots to the Muslim side of things. So that'll be easy for him to tap right in as someone of importance. You know what I'm saying? For that community behind bars. But it felt like he was trying to clean his image and turn it around. And for me, it's akin to Diddy. I can only imagine what the federal government is saying to themselves when you get a key to the city and they believe you to be someone that's doing murder for hires and freak offs and sex trafficking and things. Right? So in particular with Lil Durk, I believe the feds take that kind of disrespectful. Like this thing, he on some James St. Patrick. What do you think, you James St. Patrick? You dig what I'm saying? You gonna just get the key to the city and send hits? It's like the feds don't even communicate with the government and let them know, yo, we investigating them people, because it could compromise the investigation. One thing I've noticed about California and California individuals, at least in my time of, being involved, couple different things. Because as I get older, I look back and I say, yo, how did the gang banging spread and how did it get respected? Because can't no man come one deep somewhere and just put his game down without nobody around there willing to, you dig? So when I think about that, my mind says, and I only know this from being kind of involved, the California was leaving Cali because of the 3-strike law. So they was taking that gang banging game with them. And so they'll get 2 strikes up there and dip. And wherever they got family at, they take their culture with them. So if they 9-8 Main Street or rolling 60 or they some kind of blood or Crip, you know what I'm saying? They take that game with them. What I also noticed is that a California can come to a city and certain people will put him big homie over they real homies. And they don't even know the California nigga. I remember one time it was someone running from some snitching allegations, but he was a big homie in another city. You know what I'm saying? So California has a way with politicking, but I truly believe that it spread because of that 3-strike law. Those that are having the charges that have you eligible for a 3-strike law are active gangbangers, people that are actually getting assaults, whatever it may be. And so they're moving them out of California. After 2 strikes, they like, yo, we getting out of Cali. They're giving life if I catch a traffic ticket now. I'm finna go to Tennessee, or I'm finna go to North Carolina, or I'm finna go to Arkansas, Arizona, Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to some spots. I want to take a look at Lil Durk and DJ Akademiks.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more.
Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car.
You see them comments a lot? They kind of chilled out a little bit. I wonder why.
23-year-old was taken to the hospital where he died.
I'm thinking that one clip, you know, you learn so much about the mind state. You know, everybody be saying, yo, don't let the internet get to you. That's on the internet. Hey, that's on the internet. We ain't worried about the internet. But if you got something for sale, if you're a rapper, or if you someone that is a celebrity, or your influence is important to your brand and business, then the internet starts to play more of a role. You know, what people are saying. And a human being can't just block this out. If he's on there and he's seeing it and these videos are popping up and the way the algorithm works, you can just cut your YouTube on and see a diss about you because it's you. All that slide for Vaughn, and here it is, he's sitting with somebody like Akademiks and they talking about sliding for Vaughn. Not only that, this was a 2 or 3 hour interview about all killing shit. Granted, it is in the music. But this is what they call a classic interview. Now, if you look on the other side of the street, around this same time was when I had did the interview with Lil Baby. No bull, classic. And so in real time, you're able to see the market and you're able to see them struggle for like what's going on. In my opinion, Durk made a mistake doing, like, for me, and I say this respectfully to Akademiks, but if it was me and Akademiks asking me about slide for Vaughn and murders and if I'm scary and this and that, man, hey, man, you a square from Delaware, man. Hey, man, I ain't got no business explaining to you the details, man. You see what I'm saying? You a square from Delaware, man. You dig? And so for me to even be sitting next to Akademiks explaining about the ops was crazy to me. But that's your boy. So I can't say nothing. I'm not as offended by Akademiks as I used to be because y'all ain't offended. Now, I don't play Superman. I ain't got no business playing Superman. You know what I mean? So if y'all will let 6ix9ine diss King Von with Akademiks and run around with Akademiks dissing King Von, and then next thing you know, you and Akademiks hella cool, and then you will sit next to Akademiks and talk about the opposition, I'm saying these are mistakes for someone that's really involved with things. He got a platform. He gonna go speak and talk. When I went to jail, he would kind of, you know, and I know Akademiks isn't happy that Durk is in jail, but his reaction in his stream from the clips I saw was a very interesting reaction for someone's friend to had went to jail. You know, the unfortunate reality is a lot of these young boys are letting the internet troll them into committing murders and trick them out their spot. They put them in a trick bag. You know, I'm trying to be a guardrail. I'm trying to put a fence around the opportunities. I even tell my sons, like, don't jump in it too early. Let the play develop. Give yourself time to be something. Give yourself time to do something. You know, if this is a real situation, let them folks think they got away. Boy, they were thirsty for it because the internet. And I don't want to just be the person that's talking about some of the contradictions without giving you an example. And again, if y'all ain't mad at Akademiks, Loon ain't mad at Akademiks. I got to just do what I'm doing. And so I want you guys to pay attention to the contradiction. You know, 1 minute Akademiks sits with Lil Durk. And again, if y'all ain't mad at Akademiks, I ain't mad at him, right? Because it don't affect me at all. But 1 minute he'll sit with Durk and he'll talk about sliding for Vaughn and all these different murders and how tough and street people are around him and how he may look scared. 3 or 4 hours of chaos. Later on the same show, you'll get content like this. Roll the tape.
For Von no more, Lil Durk sat up here and said, oh, I don't hear them saying slap for Von no more. I wonder why. He was alluding to Lil Pop getting killed in LA. If you know anything about the situation, you know that Lil Durk ain't have do it. But somehow, Lil Durk is on this platform trying to insinuate he killed Lil Pop to come off as gangster. And that's what I don't respect with these whole ass rappers.
See, this why you gotta be quiet, Sherelle.
I don't play that to highlight whatever that little gentleman said. I play that so we pay attention to the fact that even though it happened, and even though Durk was alluding to it, because he want to squash the bull, he want to set some kind of standard. So I'm even alluding to some shit that may have happened. And then the on the internet who will let any and everything slide or still come out and say, man, he ain't do it. He just trying to look gangster. It ain't worth nothing. It's a trick bag you in. Whether you do it or don't do it, them people that think you ain't that, they ain't gonna never think you that. You can't prove to no group of people you that without crashing out. See, they put a trick on it. Prove to me, prove you gangster, prove you gangster. What I see happening is they're gonna slide both them murders, and probably hit them with some kind of racketeering. I truly believe that very soon you're gonna see FBG Duck's murder involved in this as well, because if I remember right, they were alluding to his name being in the paperwork as well as King Von. Durk is facing the death penalty, is what they're saying. Like, this is not some fly-by-night thing. This is murder for hire. It's interesting because out of self-interest, again, I'm going to repeat this, out of self-interest, these record labels are going to have to insert themselves at some point, the bigger labels. Or they're going to pull all funding, and it may be the end of record labels and rap as we know it. Because if they get enough of these rappers going to jail and getting hit with RICOs and freak-offs and all of that, it can kind of convolute exactly what is music and who's right, who's wrong. Because when you even look at Durk, let's just say that they say, yo, here's a murder for hire. This dude was worth $30 million, $40 million. Well, he didn't make the $40 million off the street. He made the $40 million legitimate through a business. What his business is through this business that gets a piece of all the money that he makes. How did this indictment play into FBG Duck's mom's lawsuit? And so, you know, it's a lot to get to for that. I'm someone that's trying to celebrate getting, hustling and getting money, and not hustling with a negative connotation. You know, even black people sometimes say hustling has a negative connotation. Well, we're going to have to redefine it. Now, here's where I think things get interesting, because if I'm being honest, you can make a case that Durk was set up by his homeboy. If what I'm reading is correct, Durk specifically sent a message and told these people, do not book no flights with my name, but yet you still use the card to book the flights. Yeah, I may never told you about the murder, but you know 2 + 2 is 4. We probably talked to the same people. You probably knew that I knew that Quando was out there, and then you probably know I'm sending the smackers out there. You know who the smackers is. If I say, yo, get such and such and such and such a ticket out to LA and don't put it in my name, you might know what that means. Right? So it could have been a setup, because there's no way you can tell me that people that's been involved in that level of war, that serious of a habitat and atmosphere in Chicago, a father that's been locked up 20 some odd years, and they don't know that you can't use the card to book the flights to go and commit a murder. This seems almost like you serve Durk up on a platter. Be too dumb and stupid to handle these kind of shit. And sometimes you got to tell her exactly what to do. Hey, knock him out. Man, listen, you supposed to know, man, he knock him out without somebody saying that. I ain't supposed to be able to tell you that. You supposed to know protocol. You understand me? I shouldn't even never had to tell no Quando Rondo if I'm looking for him, he in LA. Y'all supposed to handle that. I'm just supposed to watch the news like everybody else. If was really running organized crime the way these charges come down, it wouldn't even be no conversation, man. As soon as Vaughn got killed, nobody has to talk. We know for a fact to get them boys whenever we see them. Stalk them boys, lay on them boys, send the smackers out there. Lay down on them folks. Make them pay for what they done to us. You see? But y'all got to get told what to do. Hey, he's in Cali. Hey, go out there. Hey, do not use this. Hey, don't go there. Hey, don't do it like this. Yo, bro, I'm too involved in this. Yo, just let it ride. Y'all gonna crash out this whole shit. It's a difference between shooters and hitmen. And that's something people don't understand. A shooter is someone just to pull up and start shooting. A hitman to go get his guy. He'll go get his guy. You see what I'm saying? And it's just interesting, man. You can't make those kind of mistakes where you putting stuff like that in your name, just under no circumstances. It just cannot happen. And so again, my heart goes out to Durk because I know he was in a confusing state, and that's when the big homies come in. That's when some people really come in, and you know what I'm saying, bruh, the real in this game will tell you, like, we done had conversations in these interviews about shit that I done cut out. Like, nah, it ain't. Nah, we ain't putting that out. And that's something that everybody want to know. And it's some shit that's going viral. People want to know this. They gonna run off and make documentaries and shit about it. We not putting that out. Because you in a state, even with NBA YoungBoy. And everybody know Wallow. Wallow is like my brother. I got a lot of respect for Wallow. Wallow and Gilly, $1 million worth of game went out there with YoungBoy when he was strung out on them drugs. He really was saying, please don't put that out, bro. I don't look right. Please, bro. And so what I'm saying is at some point we got to care about people's mind state. When we look at Durk, when he did that interview with Akademiks and addressed all these killings and all this drill music and all these different things, yo, D-Thing had got killed. You got to think about the mindset. And that's why, you know, I want to talk to the baby because I want to deal with the mindset of things. You see what I'm saying? When Durk, D-Thing had got killed, King Von had got killed, Tekashi was online saying all kind of crazy shit. NBA YoungBoy and them started rapping about it. Quando and them started flexing and rapping on it. Charleston White amplified Lil Tim even more. Charleston White became a thing and he was dissing him for a while. That amplified a lot of the comments. Like, bro, that shit was coming at that young all kind of ways and he was going through loss. But this what y'all wanted. Y'all ain't celebrating now, huh? Slide for Von. Ain't that what y'all was saying? Slide for Von. Be the same. But somebody always got to go fair to be dead for the picture. Should be fucked. All that slide for Von. We honor Von's name. We gonna live for Von. And if the opportunity presents itself, you know, I'm a gambling man. But you don't push the line like that. You know they had some level of organization because he could have just sent the money to the West Coast and let somebody try to, you know, let one of them smackers try to get up on him. Man, I'm going to send my guys. Is what the feds are alleging. And I feel for Durk. And this is why I talked about last week. Yo, we don't pass gangster shit down to the kids. I got no respect for passing gangster shit down to the kids. That don't mean I disown gangsters. It's the pass down I got a problem with. Not just the being of gangsters. Like some of that shit was birthed out of necessity. Birthed out of revenge. We're dealing with Durk now. This shit here wasn't birthed out of rap music. This was birthed out of revenge. And we all know what revenge is like. We all done had to try to get somebody back or wanted to get somebody back. Maybe just not been powerful enough to get somebody back. But what if you are powerful enough and they killed your friend? You got to be a patient man. And I say vengeance is the Lord's. You know, when it comes to me, and I mean this ain't trolling, this ain't content. When I ain't doing, I'm telling you, all my guns is never for nothing but protection, homie. I ain't looking to rob no $1 million mouthpiece. I ain't looking to take nothing from nobody. I ain't looking to be no nuisance to nobody. I'm willing to move if you don't want me around. Like I'm just a good-hearted. I don't want to be a burden on nobody. I don't want to ask nobody for nothing. It's rough on me just even making one text or phone call about, can you help me with something? It's so much that's so heavy on me because I don't want to be disappointed in you. So I keep it out your pocket. I keep it off your plate. I try to keep you away from me having any expectations of you. But is that real friendship? Is that real partnership? Is that real love? If I have no expectations on you, you see what I'm saying? So we all deal with shit, bro, coming from where we come from. I want to listen to a little bit of Akademiks and react to it, then we'll get out of here. You know, in closing, and I'm sure we'll have many more videos on this, but in closing, I think that the drill music does not represent hip-hop as a whole. I want to be clear about that. The drill side of things does have a toxic obsession with reputation, and so that toxic masculinity lends itself to men proving themselves to men, and not being able to jump over the hurdles of life in a way that they can forgive, forget, and move on. But it wasn't just, you know, again, like right now, Lil Durk just got arrested, but I'm guaranteeing you this. The blogs are going to post the people that love Durk and are saying, please, man, Durk, free Durk. But they're also going to post the people that's dissing Durk. They're going to eat either way. I'll see y'all next time. Let's get it. Bow!